Firstly, that was off-screen footage, so we don't know if the blue tint was because of the screen or if it's the actual game. So we can't say if there's a blue tint or not.
No. Like, if you look at Battlefield 3, it has the blue tint also. Like, that's what developers are trying to do now.
And you know what else? In those pictures that you linked yesterday, the pictures with the blue tint were beta/release pictures, and the pictures before the blue tint were alpha pictures. So of course it would look better.
It still got to though. Like, let me see.
Okay, but of course the game is going to look better if it's going from alpha to beta to release.
Yeah. So you're admitting because they added a blue tint. Now it looks better. That's what you just said.
And better lighting and better textures. Yes.
Yeah, buy the fucking blue tint. Like they couldn't take that shit out of it.
Excuse me, do you have like a blue tint fetish or something?
Dude, Patriot. I'm using my mic, Shokio. Hit that money button, yo.
It's already
everybody mute their mic. I just want to hear these two talk.
Alright. Go ahead.
So I could take any game, put a blue tint over it, and you're telling me that will make it look better.
Or like, it's only in certain cases. Like, if you put that shit like overall, or like a side scroller, no, because that would even fucking make sense. Like, if it's like a realistic game like Crysis, then yeah, it will, like, it's just how the lighting, like, it completely affects the lighting.
So if I put a blue tint over Uncharted, God of War, whatever, it'll make it look better. That's what you're telling me.
If you do it right, like, cause like...
Well, what's the right way? Like, blue tint is blue tint.
Any 3D game.
Like, no, if you take a game like Uncharted, Assassin's Creed 3, like, look at that. If it's like, yeah, I guess any 3D game, if it's like, this looks good. But you can't do it for like the PS2 game, because there already isn't that much detail for it anyways. So it can't nothing be added.
So along with blue tint comes detail. That's what you're saying.
Well, yeah, you just said better lighting and shit.
So blue tint equals more pixels on a texture.
No.
Oh, but that's what you were telling me.
Or like, it don't mean more fucking pixels and shit. Cause why would it add more pixels? It's just like, it's like you put on glasses. You got glasses, right? Cause I seen you wearing them in one video. Just put on those right now. And tell me if you don't see a difference in like lighting and everything.
Yes, it does make a difference, but it does not improve the way real life looks.
Yeah, it does. I fucking got glasses. Wait, let me see this shit.
Are you talking about sunglasses now or prescribed glasses? Those are two different things.
He just said glasses.
Sunglasses.
The glasses I had. Yeah, if you have bad eyesight and you got prescription glasses, but he's just talking about sunglasses.
So you just
so viewing the world in a darker tint makes it look better.
Or it's like I said before. Wait, look at this video.
Oh, good lord!
It shows you what it does. It's a lot
of this commercial.
So this is pretty much the blue tint. Is that what you're referring to?
Oh lord! Oh lord!
Because blue tint makes games look HD.
Oh, I'm talking about fucking glasses and shit now.
Yeah, but you're referring it to the blue tint.
Oh yeah, it backs up my theory.
It really backs up.
But now you admit it's a theory and not fact.
Well, it's like
you realize a theory is something that can't be true, right?
Something that can't be proven.
That's why I said theory, because it's not true. The blue tint doesn't actually make real life look better.
Yeah, but theory also has a bunch of evidence to back it up.
Okay, is there blue tint on these HD Vision glasses?
Evidence such as
Assassin's Creed 3 for the Wii U, Battlefield 3, those glasses.
As I already said, we don't know if it was blue tint because the game actually has blue tint or because it was just off screen. But the fact that Assassin's Creed looks better is not due just to the blue tint. It's the same example I used with Battlefield 3. Those pictures you linked yesterday, you had the alpha screenshots where it was normal, and then you had beta/release screenshots on the right. yes, the right screenshots have blue tint, but they're beta and release screenshots, so everything is going to be improved. The textures, the pixels, the aliasing, everything's going to be improved over the alpha. It has nothing
Alright,
to do
so
with blue tint.
if I get in like Photoshop and I can prove it to you that it will better, like if I can Photoshop
Photoshop me a picture of Uncharted 3, put blue tint over it, and send it to me.
I'll try. Like,
Do that.
There is a blue tint option,
right
so
now.
you just click blue tint and then send it to Shok then.
It's because like I can't take this like a blue screen and just put it on there because it'll cover up it all. There's like different levels of it.
What?
You have to like adjust the color.
Talking about the hue?
It's just like it's just like developing a game. You gotta develop like all the different colors and shades, and blue tint is probably one of the primary ones.
Okay.
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 I don't get that.
That's my point.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, like, that's it.
Okay.
You guys don't got no rebuttal, like, cause that's I explained it.
That wasn't a point. That's why we're not saying anything.
What do you mean?
You just said there's a certain way you gotta do it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I just
Okay, then go do it. Well, we're not doing this. You are. You said that you make a picture.
I can't do it right now. Fucking, I still gotta download that shit.
Oh, I thought you already had something.
I'll try to do something for you real quick.
You should post a video about it so you can tell your subscribers this is what I really meant about the blue tint.
That's I've already been planning to do that for a while now because I need to I didn't really even give that much information in like my first video. So
you're really not a troll, huh? Like you're dead serious about all your videos. That's what you're telling me.
We believe you're joking around. Seriously, we honestly believe you're joking around. You're just not serious. We know that. You know that Pyro is serious. He's actually serious, but I don't know about you.
That's just stupid. Cause like Pyro, like he's just that's what I consider like a real Sony joke because like at least I only cover stuff about like Nintendo and like hate on them. You know, I'm kind of fair and shit about it, and like I give credit for this dude. But Pyro, like he's just everywhere. Like he just fucking Sony Jonas shit.
Yeah.
Hell no, Pyro was. I don't know. I don't like him.
Well, you know you kind of resemble him.
You do.
How?
You put up tons of videos. Yeah, first you're ignorant, and then you put up tons of videos, bashing the Wii U and how, Sony or whoever is so much better than Nintendo. How Nintendo fails. Is that not what Pyro does?
Yeah, but
so you're calling somebody a dumbass who you act just like. So essentially, you're calling yourself a dumbass.
And a hypocrite.
But do I make videos about Sony saying, "Oh, the PS4 got like the best hardware and shit"? Have I ever made a video?
You don't have to.
You will.
No, but you were dumb enough to say that Microsoft paid tons of money to developers to make PS3 games look like shit.
No, I even had someone agreeing with me on that shit yesterday in the Skype call.
There's two stooges. Congratulations.
Okay, so someone agreed with you, it's true, but that's an opinion. I'm talking about something that's straight up true.
Oh, wait,
I want evidence.
He said Microsoft paid developers to make PS3 versions inferior?
Yep.
So you mean to tell me it had nothing to do with the fact that the Cell at the time was a new and complicated architecture that was hard for developers to work?
Nope. He just said that Microsoft paid them shit, and that's how it went. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Then why would it be so hard for them to develop for the Xbox 360 to still new hardware?
What?
Because there's
it was new hardware but familiar architecture. The Cell was used in a console for the first time with the PS3. Developers didn't know what the hell Cell was. They never got their hands on it. So you mean to tell me that had to do with how the multiplats looked?
Well, like, look how much money Microsoft has. They got over like $50 billion. They can do anything they want.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, but that's not the gaming aspect of Microsoft. You see, Microsoft, they have Bill Gates, for example, even though he's retired from them, but they got money from other parts, not just the gaming part.
So you are seriously not aware that the cell was really hard for developers to develop for.
No, why wouldn't they be coming out saying that? Just like the fucking Wii U.
A bunch of them actually did say that. Infinity Ward said that. Gabe Newell from Valve said that. Plenty of companies said that. Do you want me to give you a link? If I give you a link, will you admit I'm right?
At the beginning of this gen, Gabe Newell basically was like, "Fuck Sony." Yeah. I mean, he changed his mind later on, but Gabe Newell basically was like, "Fuck Sony, fuck the PS3." But
all right, so let me get.
Even Sony admitted that the PS3 was hard to develop for. Here's a link. Right?
Let me ask you guys a question. Shit.
Look at the link before you talk.
Look at the link.
Look at the link before you talk.
As a matter of fact, Gabe Newell is mentioned in the article. So.
Well, like, what's the proof for this? Like, they could just put anything on. Like, where's that quote from? Like, do they got like a video of it or what?
Read the article.
Gonna believe it.
Read the article.
Yeah, this week, Sean Hemerick, executive producer for Wheelman. Wait, let me see this shit. Wait, we don't provide the easy-to-program console that developers want, because easy-to-program means anybody would be able to take advantage of pretty much the hard part. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's not the point, though. You said that the multiplats looked worse because Microsoft paid them, when I just showed you proof that it's just because that the architecture is not easy to program for. Do you understand?
Well, let me go back to my question, because I was just about to say that. Let me answer that question with like another question and shit. They're like, if you were a developer, like, just listen, if you were a developer and Microsoft came up to you because you were porting over into the PS3 and they paid you, I don't know, like $10 million to fuck it up, make like the textures bad, like, would you take the deal?
Here's the thing. I wouldn't be doing that in the first place because I wouldn't know how to develop for the PS3.
It's hypothetical.
So he can't give you an opinion on that question.
I'm saying yes or no to that question is irrelevant because the port would look fucked up anyways, regardless.
Well, there's good ports there's good ports that look exactly this. Look at Mass Effect 3. It's pretty much the exact.
Yes. 5 years after the PS3 launched. Yes. But look at any of the beginning multiplats. They all look like crap because developers did not know how to develop properly for the cell processor.
All right. Like,
do you understand?
All right. Let's say that's true. Is that a bad thing? Because like they don't want all these shit games. They want real developers who could actually bring something to the table. They want like advanced developers. So in reality, that's kind of a good thing.
What?
Huh?
So you're thinking it was a good thing that they were alienating developers who didn't want to develop for the PS3. That's what you're saying.
It's a good thing that they're alienating bad developers that don't know how to.
So Valve was a bad developer?
If they can't even handle fucking making a game for another console, yes.
Valve is the creator of
Half-Life. You're talking about Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2, Portal 1.
You're talking about Team Fortress 1 and 2. You're saying these games suck.
I played Team Fortress 2. That shit's fun as fuck. But like,
so
yeah, they got so much advanced developers, and you really think they got the people who created Half-Life, Portal, Team Fortress, and shit, Counter-Source, and fuck, and like so. And they can't even do that. They can't even develop for the PS3. That sounds like somebody paid their ass.
So pretty much every third-party developer out there was paid by Microsoft?
No, not every. Some of them I admit, like they're just shit developers and they can't develop. But you gotta admit.
So 99% of all developers were shit at the beginning of this generation.
No, not 99%. Like a lot of them got paid off, but some of them.
Where's your proof? Because Shokio showed you some proof. Where's your proof?
The fucking multiplats are bad. I said this over and over.
And I explained to you the factual, universally accepted reason as to why. I gave you a link of Sony backing up what I'm saying about their own system. How can you argue with that?
Dot 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 dot.
I hear crickets.
Just give me a sec.
Boom shakalaka.
I'm reading the article. Wait, give me a second.
Yeah, read it thoroughly.
Sony said that they made the PS3 hard to develop for on purpose. They admitted that the PS3 was hard. Kaz Hirai said that.
Wait, I'm looking
Ridge Racer.
We don't provide the easy to program for console that developers want, because easy to program for means that anybody will be able to take advantage of pretty much what the hardware can do. So the question is, what do you do for the rest of the 9.5 years? Explained Hirai. Kaz Hirai, the current CEO of Sony, admitted that the PS3 was hard to develop, and they did it on purpose.
Alright, so, okay, let's just, okay, maybe I admit, yeah, the PS3 might be a little hard to develop for it, but let me ask you this. Why is Mass Effect 3, Final Fantasy 13, and so much other current day games, they look just fine?
Because after all these years, developers have gotten a handle and understanding on the cell architecture.
And
then why people
with time, if you keep practicing something with time, you get better at it.
That's life.
It's the same thing when you were riding your training wheels when you were a kid. You know, and then you went to 2 wheels. The more you rode your bike, the better you got at it. It's the same concept. The more you play a sport, the better you get at it. So the more they develop for the PS3, the better they got with the architecture.
And the graphics designing.
Do you understand that?
Why? Then, okay, then why did God of War 3 and like Devil May Cry and shit, that came out and it looked amazing, and it wasn't even released a year?
God of War 3 was released in 2010, dude, and that was a first party Sony studio who had their hands on the hardware before the PS3 even released.
And since it's their system, obviously they're gonna use it at their full potential.
It came out 4 years earlier. 4 years after the PS3 launched, and Santa Monica had their hands on, the architecture before anybody else did, because that's like, Sony's, top dog studio, them and Naughty Dog.
Yes, okay. and they know the hardware the best.
They know the hardware the best because they are Sony. They are Sony's developers.
Okay, I'm positive God of War 3 came out. I was pretty sure it came out in 2007. Let me check.
No, you're 3 years off. You are 3 years off. It came out in
its title.
It came out the same year as SMG2.
Oh, because I know something got released. It was a launch title. I know something was, like, because I heard...
You're mistaken, dude. God of War 2 came out in 2007.
Whatever title looked good on the PS3 was an exclusive title that the developers were already had their hands on before the PS3 was even released, dude.
Because they're exclusive developers to the exclusive console.
Yeah, like right now there is Wii U fucking developer kits and shit. You see them, right?
Yeah.
Developer kits for you. Now, who do you think got those? The developers that asked for them, the real developers. Sony don't want to send out like $1,000 freaking console, like you said before, to these lame ass developers.
So Sony doesn't. What you're telling me is that Sony didn't want third parties making games for their system.
They didn't. No, they wanted to ask. It was like, You should ask, 'cause that's how they know that the studio would be good.
So you're saying Sony was waiting for people to ask them for a PlayStation 3 dev kit?
Well, they should. If they want it bad enough, that shows that they're dedicated.
You got any proof of that?
Yeah, they sent out like no developer kits, and you said only 2 of them.
Do you have any proof of that statement?
Yeah, the bad multiplats, because people didn't ask. They should have got familiar with the hardware.
So all those developers that made bad multiplats, all those developers didn't ask for a dev kit.
Even if they did, if they couldn't port over the game, then that's kind of their fault. But they should just got familiar with the art.
Developer, there's no possible way a developer that asked Sony for a dev kit can make a multiplat that's lacking compared to the 360 version.
Exactly.
That's what you're telling me.
No, like
that's what they're saying. That's where you're getting it.
Like you just, cause whatever. I'm done with the topic and shit. Cause whatever. Already proved my point.
Okay, then where's your backup? Where's your source? Where's a link? Show us something.
Yeah, I'm not getting any links, man. I'm not getting anything substantial. I'm not getting anything factual. I'm just getting theories and personal beliefs. That's all I'm getting.
Opinions.
Dude, you're just speaking in your own Neverland, imagination land type shit. You believe you're right.
No need for that, Patriot.
Okay. I'm just saying.
He's already taking it rough.
Alright. Okay.
Alright, so like, well, why would it back it up if I had like an article like agreeing with me? Because I could just write that myself. Like it wouldn't even mean shit.
Okay, where's the article then? Post the article so we can see what you're saying.
There is no article.
You just said there was agreeing with you.
No, I said if I wrote one that just agreed with me, and then I posted it.
That you got one agreeing with you.
No, I said, look at the footage later or some shit. I said, so what if there was an article agreeing with me? I could just write that myself and post it. Just because I have like people backing me up, that don't mean anything.
Except if you're going to post something that where somebody is agreeing with you, agree usually involves opinion or personal preference. If we're talking about let me link you to something that is factual, you don't use the term agree. Use the term this is a fact.
Yep.
Alright.
So if you have any factual articles, like I showed you, like I sent you a quote from Sony themselves saying that their system is hard to develop for. If you can do that, do that. Otherwise, there's really no point in debating because I'm using facts and you're using personal theory.
Alright, wait.
And you even admitted it was a theory.
Yeah, I just found something right now. The cell processor is good for game development.
I'll link the article. You linked me to a forum.
Forums, man.
You linked me to a forum.
Are you serious? This is not an article, man. This is a forum. This is full of bias and opinion.
I'm gonna give him the benefit. I'm gonna read this and see what it says.
Shok, there's no point.
You said back it up. You just said back it up with opinion. By other people.
No, I said back it up with something factual, actually. But
okay.
I'm reading this. Hold on.
Let's see, I got another guy agreeing with me right here, Star Chaser.
Well, he's trolling.
Yeah, he's trolling. He's trolling the hell out of you.
Nice job. So, you rely on opinions to make yourself right.
Okay,
nice.
so right there in that article, that quote from Larry Sealer. Oh no! Firstly, the title of the thread is not what was actually said in the quote. The title of the thread was made just by the poster, but the person he's actually quoting said nothing. He said nothing about the cell processor being easy to develop for. All he said is that the cell is good because it could do some of the capabilities that the GPU can do. So you could take some of the work off of the GPU with the CPU. That's all he said. That doesn't mean that the cell is easy to program for. All he was saying was that the CPU can help out the GPU on some of its tasks, and that was pretty much it. So, yeah.
Alright, let me find some shit.
Yeah, you do that.
Alright, so maybe the sub-processor and the shit, maybe it is bad. Maybe you're right, I don't know. But I doubt it. I mean, it looks like it, but I just think that there was something fishy going on, and Microsoft is paying developers and shit.
They wouldn't even be allowed to do that.
Yeah, I know. That's why you wouldn't think about it.
Do you know how much trouble Microsoft would be in if they were ever exposed to do that?
Yeah.
And you know how much money they would have to pay for a developer to deliberately sabotage. Like, developers, see, here's the thing. Why would a developer sabotage their own game? They want their games to sell on all platforms. So what you're telling me is that Microsoft could convince a developer to the point where the developer will make a shitty-ass port so it doesn't sell on the PS3. The game they spend millions and millions of dollars to program for, they purposely sabotage it just for Microsoft.
Exactly. They wouldn't go through all of that trouble.
You see how that doesn't make any sense?
He agrees with no response.
It's nighttime already. I'm hearing them crickets, man. Oh, you gotta go.
You got to go now.
All of a sudden?
Yo, I didn't ask you about your last video with Dr. Dre on the Xbox 360. You know that? The set-top box. You know that?
Don't bring up another discussion. He said he's about to go. He doesn't want to talk anymore.
At least he said he's going, okay? At least he didn't pull Dr. Trey. Give him a break.
Nia.
Well,
I guess that's it. I guess I could turn off my money button, and I will definitely be making some AdSense off of that.
Shokio, you got owned.
Yeah.
Man,
You got so owned, Shokio.
So, whatever. But you just, for the most part, you got exposed. So, yeah.
Wait, say that again?
For the most part, I think you're the one that got exposed. So.
Exposed, Shokio. Exposed.
Spaghetti, good job. You defeated Shokio in a debate. Good job.
Yeah, you totally destroyed me, dude. I didn't stand a damn.
Shokio got an L, got one of the L column, nigga.
Exposed. Exposed.
He did me like the
Exposed.
Yeah. But you said you have to go, so you go ahead, man. We'll talk to you some other time, right? Enjoy the rest of your day.
Exposed.
Oh Lord, that was freaking gold.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
drop this to Sony Vegas.